Good afternoon. Welcome back, Ashley. How have things been since our last session?
Things have been good.
How so?
I had a birthday and it was fun. My workouts have been good. I got to see my mom and my brother.
Do you not get to see them often?
No, I see my mom more than I see my brother, but I probably see him probably 3 times a year.
Oh, okay. Well, that's exciting. Well, I'm glad things are going pretty well. So I know today I would like to kind of recap on our last session about what brought you in and some concerning things that we discussed. Do you remember us discussing some of those things?
Some of it.
Okay, so I know what initially brought you in, or that you talked most about, was having crying spells. And then I know that you mentioned some things about struggling with depression and anxiety and worrying about dying and isolating yourself and phobias of being abducted and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we discussed this previously, do you remember we conducted the assessment, the BDI, the Beck Depression Inventory Assessment? Do you remember taking that assessment?
Yes.
So I got your results back today, and I would like to discuss them with you if that's okay.
Yeah.
So the scores of this assessment kind of gives us some sort of indication of as to why you may be having depression symptoms. I could answer some of the reasons why you're having some of the physical symptoms you're having. Well, if we just go ahead and look at your scores, we can see what's going on. So, as you can see, you know you had to write 0, 1, 2 down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you answered all of these out of 21, I had to go through and add all of these up. So out of 21, you're at 11, which means that you're minimally depressed, which means you're not going to say you're not depressed, but based on these results of this assessment, it's showing that you're on the low end of the spectrum. Doesn't mean that you're not depressed. It doesn't mean that you are depressed. This does not determine whether you are or aren't. This is something that helps us to figure out kind of where those symptoms are coming from. So since we're at an 11 and the scores are so low, maybe we should consider another assessment. Do you have any concerns or any statements about the results of your assessment?
You said minimum depressed.
Minimally. Because the assessment is an assessment that determines whether a client is depressed or not, or shows the range of how depressed a client is. Yours is not concerning for us.
Okay.
So when you mention some depression and some crying spells and things like that, do you kind of know where they come from? Is there a stem? Can you think of a time where you did feel like you were depressed? Because I know here, based on the answers you gave to a few questions. So for number 5, I'm going to call out the ones that you gave the 2s on. Because everything else seems to be a 1 or a 0. So I know for question 5, it says, do you feel guilty most of the time? And yours is a 2. So what is it? Would you care to elaborate on what it is you feel guilty about?
I mean, it's not like one specific thing. It's just if I'm doing stuff that I know I shouldn't be doing.
Okay. Do you mind elaborating on what stuff you shouldn't be doing?
Like eating bad.
Okay, so
having sex.
Okay.
Drinking. that type of stuff.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that you had stopped drinking because you felt like you not in control of yourself very much when you're drinking. As far as eating, is it because of the dietary restrictions with your workouts, or
Yeah.
are these
And then I noticed like emotional eating patterns.
okay?
It's not terrible, but I still notice it.
Okay, so those are the times when you feel guilty. And there was another time you said that eating, when
I'm
you
having sex,
have sex, and then some
drinking.
And are all of those things happening in your life now? No. Okay.
Well, I still haven't been strict on my diet, but
Are you still concerned in terms of your depression? Are you still concerned about whether you're depressed or not?
no.
No. Are you still isolating yourself?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Also, I noticed on question number 19 that you also had a 2. And so it says that it's hard to keep my mind on anything for a long time. So, when you say a long time, what is that considered? What's that time frame look like? When it's hard for you to keep your mind on something for how long?
I would probably say no longer than 5 minutes.
Okay.
But it's not everything, it's just certain stuff.
Okay. Is it
But it's like
majority of things? Yeah. Okay. So is it things you're not interested in, and does it happen when you're doing things that you're extremely interested in?
No. But I wouldn't say that it's stuff that I'm not interested in either.
Okay.
It kind of depends on like what's going on in my life, I guess.
Okay. And like what? What type of
Like
situations?
Like if I gotta like if I have a meeting or something coming up, or if I'm excited to go home, or I don't know. Like I guess when I'm anxious about a certain situation, I'm kind of like everywhere.
Okay. Anxious about it? Like excited, kind of? When you're excited about it? Okay. Okay. Excitement and nervousness makes it difficult to concentrate. Is that? Am I hearing that right? So, about how long have you been? How long has this been going on when you've been experiencing difficulties concentrating because you're anxious, nervous, or excited?
It's been going on like majority of my life. I didn't realize it until I started going to therapy, but I remember when I was younger, I was probably about 6 or 7, and my dad took me to the doctor because I was always anxious. And then I didn't remember that for a long time, and then I had called my mama and asked her about it. She said she remembered.
Okay.
But that's all I remember. I don't remember like what happened with that, or
So 6 or 7. Okay. And then you didn't realize it until much later when you started going to therapy, which was not too long ago, right?
Right.
About within the last 6 months.
No, within the last year.
Within the last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's good that you're becoming more aware of what's going on. And the last one was question 21, and you also put a 2 there, and it was loss of sexual interest. Would you care to expound on that a little bit more?
I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with the question about feeling guilty.
Okay. Okay. And I know in our last session that you mentioned struggles with your religion and spirituality. Does that also play a part in the feelings of guilt and the loss of sexual interest?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Is it something that you worry about excessively, like your spirituality, your religion, where you're gonna go next? Is there another world? Is there an afterlife? Are those things that you worry about?
No, I wouldn't say worry about, but I mean, it's stuff that I think about, but it's not like, no.
No? Okay. And I also know that you mentioned anxiety. Do you have a difficult time controlling worry about anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
So, when you have those thoughts and feelings about being abducted, like you mentioned, is it difficult for you to control those thoughts or the worry about white vans pulling up and grabbing you?
No.
It's not difficult.
No.
Okay. You also mentioned, let's see. I guess I don't have my password. You also mentioned that you believe that you're crazy sometimes. So, tell me about that. What do you think crazy is, or what does crazy look like to you?
Emotionally unstable.
Emotionally unstable. Would that be the crying spells?
Yeah, and I get really excited about certain stuff. Like, overly excited. It's just a lot of emotions.
What is certain stuff that you get overly excited about?
Like makeup,
Okay.
being with my family.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like small stuff, but it makes me excited. It kind of just depends.
Okay. So your anxiety can be both negative and positive.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking on anxiety, I remember that you mentioned that you were juggling a couple of jobs. And I also remember you saying that you quit one of those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
How are things going financially for you? Because I know that you said that was a worry of yours. How are things going in that department?
I got a raise at my other job.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I just still have to work on like budgeting,
Okay.
but other than that,
Is
it's
that
about the same.
is that something that you would like for us to work on here in our sessions?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We can definitely work on that. Is there anything else that you think that we should be working on in our sessions?
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay.
Well, not like right now.
I'll go back to some of the things that you said, and I know you said that you were already working on some things yourself, like you're meditating. Are you still meditating?
Yes.
How often?
So for November, my goal was, 3 times a week. So that's what I do 3 times a week, and then I write in my journal 3 times a week, and then I read at least 30 minutes 3 times a week.
Okay. And you've been sticking to it?
Mm-hmm.
Holding yourself accountable?
Yeah. Well, my friends have been holding me accountable. We all sent our November goals, and so we check on each other like on a weekly basis. And so right now we're getting ready to send each other our December goals.
That's commendable. Sounds like you have a really good group of friends. Great accountability partners. So, as far as fasting from social media, are you still doing that?
Yes, I'm on a fast right now, but it was more so. I didn't start this fast for like a mental. Well, I guess it's kind of mental. I don't know. I didn't start this one because it was like routine.
Okay.
It was pretty much just like a lot of stuff going on the internet that I didn't want to see, so I just stopped getting on it.
So you just stopped getting on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get you. Get you. As far as self-help books, any good suggestions? You gave me good suggestions last time. Do you have any more? Have you picked up a new book?
I have suggestions. The Four Agreements is really good. I need to read it again because I try to read it once a year, but I'm not reading it right now. I'm rereading The Weight by Megan Good and Devon Franklin.
Devon Franklin. Oh yeah.
But it's good too. I mean, I guess that can be considered self-help.
That's
or
good.
something.
You're doing things to help yourself. You're already ahead of the game. I'm proud of you for doing those things and holding yourself accountable. And I'm thinking you might have been in my head because I was going to suggest journaling, but you're already doing it. And you said, do you also journal 3 times a week?
Yeah.
Okay. And how is that? Do you feel like it's helping?
Yes,
Is there
a lot.
A lot? How so?
I don't know. I feel like when you write something down on paper, it's like more real than like taking notes on your phone or even talking to people, because sometimes you can write down stuff that you can't talk about. So.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that muscle memory helps to create whatever you're trying to manifest. So muscle memory and manifestation, I think there's a correlation there. No research done. I can't tell you if it's true or not, but that's about how I feel about it. So I just wanted to talk to you about it, just to kind of figure out where you were and give you the results of the last assessment. I'm going to suggest for the next time we come in to have you complete an anxiety assessment.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can kind of figure out where you are on the anxiety scale, now that we know that the depression scale showed us that you were very low in the depression department. But a lot of these things that I'm hearing may have something to do with anxiety, and maybe that scale can tell us a little bit more about where we're going to go down this therapeutic process.
Okay.
Also, like I said, I was going to suggest journaling, but you're already doing that. But I also wanted to check in. I forgot to ask you about this. Have you been making an effort to be around people more, whether it's people that you get along with or friends from work, coworkers? Are you making an effort to get out of your room more and to hang out with people?
Yes.
Yes? How's that going?
It's good.
Good. Okay, I'm sensing a tone that...
I mean, it's not like I go out every day, but I mean, I've been out twice in the last 2 or 3 weeks, which is a lot for me. So
How much do
baby
you
steps.
typically go out?
Not a lot, like once every 2 to 3 months.
Okay. So you're making a lot of good steps. Okay. Okay, Ashley. So things seems like they're going pretty well for you. I love what I'm hearing. I want to encourage you to continue to write in your journal. Please continue with your meditations, and if there's anything else that I could do to help you, besides the budgeting plan, which I will have for you next session, we can come up with a budget. I can come up with some handouts or a notebook or something that you can use to put your budget in. Also, keep up the good reading. Please come in with your suggestions. They may help other clients. Like I said, next time you come in, we're gonna make sure you get the anxiety assessment completed so that the follow-up session, we can go over that and start this ball rolling on your therapeutic journey and get you to where you're feeling better and you don't feel crazy, as you say.
Okay.
So I look forward to seeing you next week. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss before we end our session?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right, well, you have a great day.